Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. It is 4 o'clock. It's time for our afternoon martial arts session. And today, well, as always, we're in the first few moments of class. We're waiting for people who are going to watch live to join. If you're watching this video after the fact, feel free to skip ahead to the bow in and you can start at that point. Otherwise, you can hang out with me here while we wait for people to join. Not a lot going on. It's like standing in a waiting room in a lobby or something. Maybe the doctor's office, the DMV. Well, today's class will be about how we move. Something we talked about in this morning class is the ways that we move and the different ways we move, right? Think about it like when you say something. I can say things with a different kind of sound to my voice. Maybe you could describe it with emotions. I could say things in an angry way. I could say things in like a really scared way. Or I could say things in like a really happy and upbeat way. Or a very tired way. Or sad, maybe, right? I could say things, and the way that I say those things would tell you something about how I was feeling. Well, you can move in different ways too, right? Maybe your moves can be attached to how you're feeling. If you're feeling really good, or if you're looking at somebody moving around, can't you tell how they feel? You can tell by the way they walk, or the way they carry their head.
Stephanie's here.
Hi, Stephanie. You can tell how someone feels by what they're doing with their body. We call that body language, right? As a matter of fact, body language is really important when it comes to figuring out what somebody's saying altogether, right? So if I were to, let's say I get in really close here, and let's say I was going to say this. Hello, everybody. I am very happy. How are you today? I am so happy, can't you tell? Look at how happy I am. Boy, isn't there something wrong with that? Did you hear the words I was saying? I was saying, I'm happy. But it didn't match with what I was doing with my face, did it? So when we move and when we speak or when we do anything, the way we move our bodies matters. Now, when you're training and you're exercising, the way your body moves matters because it might give you different kinds of results. If I want to practice getting my body to move fast, well, I have to move fast, right, with my practice. If I want my body to be strong, I have to move in ways that will make my body grow stronger. If I want my body to be able to do something for a really long time, I have to practice those things in a way that makes my body grow or get more endurance. That's be the word we would use for that. So the way you practice changes what kinds of things happen. The way you say things changes what you're saying. The way you move your body changes the way you're communicating to other people. All those things are kind of connected. So we're talking about ways of moving our body. First off, let's bow in, and then we'll go from there, okay? Front position, knowledge in the mind, honesty in the heart, strength in the body, and bow. So, let's start with something, and since I know Stephanie's watching, she knows we worked on this just a little while ago. Let's start with an idea called push-pull, right? This is a way of moving our body that will help us generate more power. Okay? Not just, the energy I put in with my mind or the feeling, but this is just a way of moving, and the way of moving will make my body move with more strength. Okay? So push-pull means that when one part of my body is pushing, it's going away from me, an opposite part of my body is moving in the other direction. It's going towards me. One part of me is pushing, another part of me is pulling. Remember that? Push, pull. That's the idea. So last week we talked about this during class on Friday. Push, pull. So let's practice it a little bit more. And let's just do it from a guarding stance, okay? So I'm going to stand in this stance like this, and I'm going to throw a punch. But you notice when I throw the punch with this hand, my other hand, and my shoulder, and even my hips and my legs, they all move a little bit. See that? See how I had to turn? So a lot of the moves that you make in karate come from this right here. See this? See how I'm turning my body? So when I turn my body, let's say I'm turning to my right? This side is moving towards you. Like that. This is the pulling side. So that makes this the pushing side. So, see how I did that punch? I did that little push-pull. I pushed one side, pulled the other. I'm rotating. Let's try it. So when I say go, I want you to rotate your body. Push one side forward, pull the other side back. But you do that first. And then see how I went back again. So I turn and push and then turn back. Boom, boom, just like that. Okay? I'm going in slow motion here. And I'm doing this in a guarding stance. This one goes forward. What happened to this one? Yeah, it kind of hangs around here by my cheek. And then I'm coming back again. And see how I'm breathing? You can probably hear that because I have the microphone right here. I'll try not to make it too loud. So every time I punch, turn and back. Go. Right? You keep it slow. This doesn't have to be your fastest, most powerful move right now. Go. Okay? Go. So one side's pulling, one side's pushing. Switch sides, try the same thing the other way. Boom, boom. Slow motion at first. See how I turn into it and turn back. Right? Use your... Now, here's something that I want you to think about when you're doing push-pull. We're thinking about our arms right now, right? Pushing one arm forward, pulling the other arm back. Pushing one shoulder forward, pulling the other shoulder back. Pushing one hip forward, right here, pulling the other hip back. Yeah, right? So anytime I'm doing that move, I'm turning more than just my arm. I'm pushing and pulling with more than just my arm. And this brings me around to something, especially for those of you who are a little higher belt level. When we practice moves, we're really using our entire body with every move. It's not just my arm, and then my leg, and then my arm. If we're practicing moving like a robot, which is something I did in this morning's class, we could do it that way. I step. So let's say we did one pinion, robot style, right? Bow, horse stance, elbows, arms, step, block. See, I'm doing one move at a time, right? Everything is very precise. That's a big word. It's exactly correct. It's very stiff. Okay, we'll stop there. But it's one thing at a time. Does that look very powerful to you? It's a perfectly fun and interesting way to practice your moves, especially when you're trying to remember them. I like doing robot style when I want to slow down and practice to remember something, right? And I'll do robot style lots of times to help my body learn moves. So Stephanie, for you and for anyone else doing, say, two pinion, when you practice the move, you can try the slow robot version to make sure you're doing each move as correctly as you can. And then the more you do that, the better you'll remember. And then once your brain is pretty good at remembering the moves, then you can start trying them in different ways. Let's say more like a relaxed, powerful version. Right? And you're putting those moves together quicker, like you would do them in real life. So, think about the way that you move. When I want to practice push-pull so that all my moves have push-pull. But when I first practice it, I practice kind of like a robot to help me remember. I'm reminding myself to do push-pull on the moves. And I keep practicing in that robot way for a little while until I'm able to do it without getting it wrong, without making mistakes. So I don't forget what direction to turn. I don't forget to do push-pull. And then I'll change to the faster version and the more relaxed version that goes faster. And then my push-pull, right? It has more power, more snap, more flow. Those are all words you'll hear me say, right? With our moves. Flow. That all the moves fit together smoothly. That's kind of the opposite of doing the robot version, right? So you try practicing your 2-pinion or your 1-pinion, or you know what, any other move you want in one of those ways. Let's say we wanted to practice something like a kick. So I'm going to get my chair again, because I find this to be helpful when I do the slow version of things. And let's say we were going to do our side kick, like a robot. Okay, so what are the parts of the side kick? 1, lifting my knee up. 2, I do my little tip. 3, 4, and down, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, like a robot. And then when I feel like that's pretty good, then I can try faster, more regular kicks. So it's okay to do both. Find fun ways. And sometimes I have a lot of fun doing the robot thing because you can just make that pretty silly. So this week's whole class, or all the classes this week, will be about the way we move, right? And I want you to keep that in mind, the way that you move. I want you to have some fun finding ways to move that are different and interesting. And then I'll help show you the ways to move to try to make your moves more powerful, or to make them faster, or to give you more endurance. All of those things and more we can add to the way we move. All right, so I'm going to come on back here. Right back to this one more thing, okay? Okay, so remember at the beginning when I sort of did the I am very happy with a very straight face, and I did not change my expression to tell you how happy I am. Right? I want you to think about that when it comes to talking to people, for real. Since we're all spending a lot more time at home, that means we're spending a lot more time around our families. And you know, sometimes when you spend a lot more time around people, you can get more frustrated with them, more angry at them, right? And there's something funny about well, maybe funny is the wrong word, but it's important to know that when you're feeling something on the inside and you're saying something to somebody, that the way you're saying it really matters. And so there's another part to that, okay? If I know that when I'm feeling a certain feeling, it usually shows on my face, I can actually make that work the other way around. Let's imagine that I'm feeling really angry, but I make a happy face. Something kind of interesting happens. It's actually hard to stay feeling angry when you start making the happy face. Right? Gosh, I'm mad, but you know what? I'm going to try to smile anyway. And no, I'm smiling, and I notice in myself it's very hard to feel angry or to stay angry if I do a real smile. It's kind of a neat trick. So sometimes if you're feeling really upset and you want to figure out how to stop feeling upset, you can try changing the way you make your faces or the way you say things. I'm going to try to say this in a happy way instead of in an angry way. Just a thought. Maybe you can play around with that. Have some fun with it with your parents, right? You can practice saying things with the wrong face while you're feeling something else, or make some games out of it. In the meantime, I'm going to step back. I'll leave you with that thought. I'll be back on a little later for story time. Today, I'm going to read you a story that some of you probably will hear again when you graduate from high school or college, but I'm going to tell it to you today. It's a Dr. Seuss story, and I think you'll like it. For now, show me front position. Can you say knowledge in the mind, honesty in the heart, strength in the body, and bow. All right, class, I will see you hopefully in a little while if you want to hear my story. And as always, if you're watching this video later, feel free to make some comments. Let me know you watched it later on, and I'll answer you because I get notified when you come on. I'll see you in about 45 minutes, or actually a little less than that, right? 4:45, and I hope I'll see you again on Wednesday for class. Till then, have a great day.